Click the links for Discord, Gab, Odysee, BitChute. Discord is full of crazy people, but it's a good way to keep in touch if there's ever a purge, that kind of thing, to reestablish bases. Rivers of... Oh, and also click the links for coffee or on crypto. This is Rivers of Filth. No, not Rivers of Filth. Rivers of London. It's by this filthy globalist who acts very, very much true to nature. Comics exist in the real world. The willing suspension of disbelief only goes so far. With the upside down storytelling of Blonde Man is either stupid or evil, like every single time. We look at the real world, especially now, it kind of says the opposite. You know, blonde dudes are really, really awesome. Okay, so this comic is set in basically Harry Potter, England. It's written by a crazy person. It's in England, and the street crime is committed by blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids in London, England. Blonde-haired kids committing street crime in present day. But thank God the moral authority is an African dude who's a good father to his kids and very smart. Oh, she fell down and got hurt because of the evil. You know, there's a lot going on just in this page. The blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid stole her purse, and the wok fell down and got injured from the person, the child of the light. And then there's a breastless, obese lesbian who's the police chief. Now, usually the police chief is played by a black guy with a cigar. At least that was how they rolled in the 80s. 80s were a better time for entertainment. So his partner is a goofy, slightly slow Englishman who is, of course, the comic girl. They're both Englishmen, you bigot. Are they? Are they really? So he's a comic relief. You know, the English guy who built England. My gosh, the English must be so dumb. They only built England. You know, when you say it aloud, it doesn't make much sense. In fact, none of it makes sense. In Ben Aronovic's, he thinks the English are so slow. How exactly did they build England? Did they get space aliens to help them build those flying pyramids, and then they just zoomed off? It's as if the whole thing is propaganda. Well, you know, plot twist. Welcome to comics. But it's weird propaganda because it flies in the face of the real world, which is like 180 degrees from reality. Oh, every opportunity, the short-haired woman who wears comfortable shoes, the bumpers of fuzz, obese lady has to degrade or demean a male. She takes it, which in this case, this guy looks vaguely Asian, but still, he's getting demeaned. So there's like some male-female thing going on here. That does that draw you in? Does that make you want to put $4 down? And really, isn't it problematic to have Aronovic, who is, I don't know exactly what he is. He's some sort of, I'm pretty sure he's a lizard person, a person of reptiles. But he's not a person of the light. He's not a blonde person, and he's not an African. So is it istophobic to write those characters when you're not those characters? You know, and if you look hard enough, anything can be istophobic. We have ways of making you laugh. The political commissar can find a crime anywhere because the rules are written in pencil and they have a big eraser. Yeah, he's going to be the bad guy because he's got blue eyes and blonde hair, and there you have it. There you have it. Hopefully there'll be some LGBT stuff going on with the Nazi werewolves. So the writer has a book series, Rivers of London, which probably an actual book series, not a comic book, which probably was better than a comic because there's no visuals in it, because the race isn't an issue when you're not drawing it. Even though it's in the book, it's not like seeing it in a comic where you scroll through 3 issues that are out so far and you see this clear juxtaposition of the real English people. Oh, if anyone can name that car, I will send you something. I'll send you a comic book if you get it correct. You see this clear juxtaposition of real English people, make, model, and year, in as bad, and POCs as soulful saint purse puppies. Of course, it's nonsense, and it's so over the freaking top that Aronovic feels pretty confident that nobody is going to point out how insane his blonde-haired, blue-eyed Nazi werewolves are. Nobody cares about World War II anymore as a storytelling tool. It's pretty well over. It's pretty well been done to death. Trite, hackneyed, and overused. It was a million years ago in pop cultural terms. Walk it off. Tell a different story. Find your balls and make them the good guys, or bring in the Japanese or Russians if that's a bridge too far, which is a pretty good reference because it's Cornelius Ryan about World War II, which is a friggin' great book anyway. Bring in something new is my point. Whenever I open a comic and I see them desperate for a storyline, they go to the frickin' Germans. For the love of God, try something, anything else. Now here's the thing, if you don't read, if you're a kid who's not reading this stuff, maybe it's just kind of goes over your head. It's vague. Oh, yeah, of course he's bad. Of course. I mean, all these images are really, they're telling you a story about a comic which is mediocre. They're telling you a lot about Ben Aronovic, who's got serious issues with these dudes. Anyway, it's just done to death. They think it's topical because they seriously think the Germans are going to get them. They're underneath their bed. It's like a straw man boogeyman that just never shows up. I wish they would. They'd clean up Seattle and Portland and friggin' a lot of America. You could probably use the trains to run on time and clean cities. I wish we were speaking German. The books are making money, but it's really derivative Harry Potter stuff. Like, obviously, an homage to Harry Potter. But if it's what people want, hey, give people what they want. And J.K. Rowling, who was a brilliant writer in her own right, you know, almost kind of started wondering, like, did her husband write the book for her? Because it was so good. It's kind of weird to have a woman that good. It's like Frankensteins are pretty rare. And J.K. Rowling was, I'm only kidding, J.K. Rowling was woke for the time period, but she wasn't anti-white woke. She was where the left was, I think 15 years ago when that came out. It was like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and then Harry Potter. You had these huge franchises, and then Harry Potter came along and just like wiped all that stuff away. Though it's for kids, and Lord of the Rings is for adults. And that was, I mean, God, that was just a masterclass film. Preferably the you can get these extended versions. Like, oh, it's a 4.5 hour movie. That's a lot of movie watching. I feel like someone who wasn't me, who wasn't on YouTube, could work in an unpolitically correct joke in here somewhere. I'm feeling like there's a joke just waiting to be said. Just kind of want to. No, I won't say it. I just feel like you could find one. Yes, he's Zen. He's found his inner Zen. See, 15 years ago when J.K. Rowling was doing her thing, not everyone was an obese lesbian in an interracial transsexual relationship, which is where we are now. It's absolute fudge and clown world. Now it's the first issue of Commanders in Crisis, I think, has got an interracial gay relationship. When most people see that, like half the audience dips out when they see two dudes kissing. They're not homophobic. It's just not what they want. Two guys kissing on the first issue is a weird sales technique. No matter how cool the series may be and it had a good premise, we can't, it's just too much. It's just like there's just something, people see that, most dudes see that, and it's just like, no, that's got to be a side story. It's got to be off to the side. These, I mean, there's not the 1950s, but it's just something about it. It's like most people just aren't into it. Two dudes kissing is not what people want to see, because most people are not, or they're into the opposite sex, and they want to see hetero stuff only. It's like it's kind of a line in the sand for a lot of people. But the other thing you want to consider is, and the thing is, honestly, it's like, if you said, hey, we want you to write a gay character, I'm like, alright, fine, but it's not going to be like musical theater hairdresser gay. It's just going to be a normal dude. It's like, oh, they're two gay characters. They're a couple. Oh, okay. Are they going to kiss in public? Well, do you see the hetero characters, like, doing a full-page spread kissing in public? It's pretty rare. What's that World War II thing where the guy gets back and the Navy guy gets back and he's kissing the girl? Like, that kind of, like, full-page Rampant display of heterosexuality. It's aggressively heterosexual. Yeah, this is the Harry Potter stuff. It's cool. I mean, it's a cool theme, but it's like everything's degrading and demeaning to the white guy. It's like from the African guy to the English guy. It's like all one way dehumanizing. What's it going with this? So you got to consider that a lot of people see two guys kissing and they just kind of can't handle it. So they just put the story down, which is a problem when you're in a commercial enterprise and you need to sell these comics for, I don't know, $4 or probably digital. I mean, I paid for this issue, but, you know, I mean, somebody sent it to me, but it, you know, somebody paid for it. They didn't buy it or anything. So anyway, in this Rivers of Shit story, you have an obese old lady lesbian in her underwear who is constantly talking down to, I guess, you, the reader, if you're male. She's talking down to the real Englishman, and she's the short-haired lesbian. It's like every statistically improbable event just comes up every single time. The reason Comicsgate sells $25 books plus shipping is because of dog shit like this. It's legitimately anti-white hatred. That is what the comic industry is in present day. Anti-white hate porn. I like talking about pop culture, but the comic stuff uses so many hot words that it's not to do on YouTube, or else you'll eventually get shown the door, which, you know, is coming. It's not the end of the world, it is what it is. But it's like pointing out to the normie that the left are the real racists. They're the real racists the whole time. Yeah, we know it, and a lot of them know it also. But they control the narrative, so it doesn't really matter. They don't care. You haven't used your rapier wit to score a bon mot and defeat their whole argument like puncturing a balloon. It's like, oh my gosh, we were the bad guys the whole time. It doesn't do anything. It's like, yeah, but we control the media. We control the narrative. It doesn't matter. You've got Antifa literally attacking POCs, gay Asians and black women with their kids who are speaking out. Antifa shutting down because the Antifa knows what is best for the POCs. Talk about these soft bigotry of lowered expectations. They just shot a Samoan Proud Boy the other day in Portland, I think. They are the Nazi brown shirts, or the commie brown shirts. There's a lot of hot words in this video. No, your video is not monetized. Well, there goes that 25 cents. They're useful idiots. And a lot of them, like, if you're an Antifa and you're looking around like, oh, we're going to shut down those anti-vax Nazis. Like, looking around at my Antifa buddies, like, wait a minute. We're advocating for the state's position. Well, yeah, because those guys, the anti-vaxxers, they're the Nazis, and... But so wait. These anti-vax guys are advocating against the state, and we're Antifa, and we're advocating for the state's position. Doesn't that make us? I mean, technically, wouldn't you say that makes us the fascists? I mean, just technically. Oh, so yeah, we're advocating to take away choice from people who don't want to take an experimental government substance that doesn't have any long-term studies, unless you have a time machine, because you can't travel to the future. So we're Antifa, and we're like, if you're an Antifa, at some point, don't you just look around and go, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? We're advocating the states. Oh yes, of course, he's blonde hair, blue eyes, with one earring on the left. Everyone in this comic is blonde hair, blue eyes. Gee, Ben Abramovic, what's your issue with the blonde hair, blue eyed people? I wonder what it could be. Maybe someone could... No, don't tell me in the comments. Please don't tell me in the comments. YouTube is... You're judged by the comments, so... That's why I say go to Discord. You can say whatever you want. I mean, other than advocating for illegal conduct. So, I mean, you see what's going on with these comics, right? It's like just this one page. Below this, he's got the formula and or the milk, whatever. And the kids are below him. So he's about to feed the kids. He's got a loving wife. And then the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guys in the ambulance being judged for his crime. So, I mean, compare and contrast these two scenes. It's like, well, you see these scenes nonstop because this Ben Abramovic guy has got a serious axe to grind. Here's the thing. If you only read comics rarely, you probably have no idea what's going on. You see this and go, oh, it's just one cute little quirky story. It's kind of just an English thing. It's just fun. You know, you read one series. It's like, okay, that's the series. That's the series. But... like, even a normie who, if you've never been to England, it's like, you watch the news, you know, like the likelihood of these blonde-haired, blue-eyed guys being the bad guys is like, you watch the news and you watch YouTube and you watch social media, you're like, you don't see that. You see something else, which you can't even say on YouTube. Like, you know it's bullshit. Like, right off the bat, this is every statistically improbable event. It's just, you're hitting a hole in one every time you go out to swing. It's like, this is nonsense. But that's mainstream comics. Anyway, I can't imagine that the comic version of this is doing well. No, not really under any circumstances. If you don't read comics at all, yeah, okay, maybe this is doing well. If you, I can't imagine like someone being so obdurantly obtuse. What do you call it when you have your eyes closed? Myopic? Like purposely head in the sand. There's a phrase for that, and it's not coming to me. Like the horse blinders on. To have your horse blinders on so tightly that you're seeing this little vision of the world, and it's this narrow focus vision of the world. I feel like there's an astronomy reference that would be better. I can never think of anything when I'm speaking. To think that this doesn't have verisimilitude. It doesn't have the willing suspension of disbelief. It's got too much of this kind of juxtaposition of, oh, hey, look, the blonde guy is injured because he did something dumb. He ran off the rooftop in the other scene because he's a blonde criminal in England. You're like, yeah, it's, I watch the news. I scroll through the news. It's like, you don't have to be jerking off to Tommy Robinson to know that this is some serious levels of horse feathers here. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'll see you all. Oh, get on all the alt medias. You can donate on crypto if you want to, or through coffee, and join the Discord, or join the channel, and you will get a shiny little icon.